How saving money makes you broke. You may now halt us if you feel you have already heard this particular joke. Saving money is vital to your future and to build wealth, or something like you should save money if you want to have a solid retirement fund. We have heard time and time again about the necessity of saving for many different reasons. But what if we told you that saving money in the bank is not all it's hyped up to be? What if we told you that in the long term, when you save money, you actually lose money? I'm guessing you find the idea pretty laughable. However, you would be mistaken. When discussing retirement or other long-term saving strategies, inflation is often overlooked. Which is why today we are describing why saving isn't effective as a strategy to preserve your financial future. Talk better ways to put your money to work and look at some better uses for savings account. Without further ado, let's find out why saving money might lead to a financial ruin. And if you stick around until the end, you'll be surprised at what your nest egg could be worth in 2022. Problem with savings account. The concept of storing money in a bank for a long term, whether for retirement or just so that it might earn interest on its own, is erroneous. One word describes the root of the problem: inflation. Inflation. But before diving into the effects of inflation, it's important to review the fundamentals of savings account. That being said, the process of opening a savings account is relatively simple. Opening a bank account is as simple as visiting your local financial institution. A little deposit is all they might ask for up front. A savings account is available to you. The funds in your savings account, however, are not fixed. With the help of bank interest, it gradually increases over time. This interest is computed for set time span. If your savings account's interest is 1% per year, your balance is $10,000, you will earn an additional $100 at the end of the year. Interest is typically compounded. That means you get paid not only on the principal you deposit, but also on the interest that your money earns. Assuming the same scenario as before, your earnings would be 1% of your increased balance after 2 years. That's an extra $1 for a total $101 rather than $100. As a result, compound interest ensures that your earning grows steadily with your principal. Annual percentage yield (APY) is a word used to express the growth over time, and that's how you may estimate the long-term growth of your funds. By the way, if you have ever pondered why banks reward you financially for putting money away, it's because they then turn around and lend that money to other people. Your savings account earns the same type of interest that banks and financial institutions earn on deposits, loans, and credit cards. You might be wondering at this point, so what? For no effort on my part, I can receive additional funds simply by leaving my money in the bank. Okay, so in an ideal setting, that's all you need. However, the reality we actually inhabit is far from ideal. Inflation has arrived. Inflation, then, is the gradual loss of purchasing power experienced by a currency over time. In most cases, this is communicated through a general rise in the cost of necessities. Percentages are used to show the equivalent of this rate. Alright, that's too complicated. Let's simplify it some further. The higher the rate of inflation, the less purchasing power you have because of the price increases. Let's give a basic illustration a shot. The average cost of a ticket to the movie was $5.81 in 2002. Per film industry statistics cite the numbers. The price was $7.96 in 2012, 10 years ago. As of this year, 2022, the average cost is around $9.16 globally. As a result, the price of a movie ticket increased by an average of 3.7% annually between 2002 and 2012. and by an additional 1.5% annually since then, inflation to be precise. Inflation reduces the purchasing power of currency. 10 years ago, $10 would have brought more than it would today. However, such price increases are typical and inevitable. The trouble is that not even savings accounts takes this into consideration. The logical conclusion is now obvious to you. Saving through investments. If you want to beat inflation and increase your purchase power over time, investing is the way to go instead of keeping your money in a savings account. Although most people are familiar with the term investment, few fully grasp the idea that investing in something whose value rises over the time is a great way to both save and earn money. If someone tells you to make your money, they mean just this. Investing in things that increase in value over time is essential. Now, there's a wide range of possibilities when it comes to defining what exactly those items are. How well you comprehend economics and the various markets will determine which investment strategy will work best for you. Perhaps now is the time to start investing in real estate. Or perhaps you would be better off purchasing stocks. As the stock price rises, so does the worth of the company it stands for. Even riskier investments such as those in cryptocurrencies are possible. Some people choose to invest in collectibles or luxury things such as a rare comic book or an expensive watch. It may seem silly now, but past experience tells us that things like this often increase in value with time. Observing market conditions is essential. Here, therefore, are some of the most promising and secure possibilities for long-term investments. CDs or certificates of deposit are issued by banks and provide a substantially higher interest rate than regular savings accounts. A certificate can be issued for a period of 1 or 2 years. The biggest negative is that they will have your money locked up for that period of time. But higher the interest rate, the longer you can afford to keep it up. Money market funds tracking and the S&P 500 index funds such as this, they provide instant diversification due to the nature of index funds. As an investor, you can put your money into the top 500 companies through the S&P 500. Dividend stocks of US corporations such as Amazon and Berkshire Hathaway funds, it is possible to know with certainty how the stock market will perform, making investments in equities a high-risk endeavor. Find dividend-paying stocks, though you can mitigate some of that danger. It's a share of a company's earnings. This is a great option if you find a solid company profile. Short-term versus long-term savings. We'd like to make it clear that putting money away in a bank account isn't always a bad idea. This is far safer than borrowing money or keeping it under a mattress. That is, unless your goal is to join the ranks of the modern pirate. Don't leave any kind of memento there in honor of an ex, okay? The problem with savings is that they don't work very well for long-term endeavors. Inflation, as we know by now, erodes the purchasing power of your savings over time, even in high APY accounts. That's why it's important to avoid leaving your savings in the bank for too long. However, this does not negate the benefits that might be gained from such frugal measures. Putting money aside for long-term goals for use in an unexpected situation is a smart move. When you need access to your money quickly, long-term investing solutions may not be the best choice. Your funds will either be unavailable to you for a lengthy period of time or will be subject to restrictions on how they are used.